So we're going to be looking at operating beyond compliance. So just for an introduction to RightShip, for those not aware, we're the largest provider of vetting services, offices in London, Melbourne and Houston, primarily known for our focus in driving improved safety in the industry, but also, as you heard earlier, increasingly looking also into environmental sustainability. So what's the reason to vet a vessel? What a charter is looking at? Well, traditionally, it was the big newsworthy incidents, your collisions, your groundings, major pollution incidents. We've got some facts and figures up there. Also, detentions in port leading to large delays for vessels. It's commercially, for a charterer, is an issue. But we're seeing that change. And the focus now from charterers is widening, and it touches on some of the subjects we've already heard today. Environmental emissions from vessels is very much in the forefront, and also additional challenges in terms of sanctions. You think of North Korea and Syria, and the human side of things. So there's a real change towards corporate social responsibility. So clearly there's a need for managers now to be operating beyond bare compliance, and we'll go through how we can assist with that and how it's taking shape. So looking at safety, RightShip have a platform known as Key. This is a big data platform, and it also utilizes predictive analytics using that data. So this is essentially predicting the likelihood of a vessel having an incident in the next 12 months. We represent this with a star rating, and this is available for anyone screening the vessel, the charterers, and also any ship owners who wish to monitor as well. Within the system, we can also introduce specific customer vetting criteria, and through that we can help them to really start to manage that risk. So how do we know it works? Well, this is some latest updated data from 2018. So on the red bar is obviously the one-star vessels. We can see they were much more likely to be detained, and we can see the trend as you move up through the star ratings decreasing. On deficiencies from port state control inspections, the average number, again, you see a similar trend. One-star vessels with a much higher number of deficiencies. Where it gets really interesting, we start looking at incidents for these vessels. So on the left, this is looking at the bulk carrier fleet. A one-star vessel was 16 times more likely to have an incident than a five-star vessel in 2018. And just to reassure ourselves that the vetting is helping, the right-hand side is showing vessels that were vetted at least once in 2018, and you can see they were in a less chance of suffering an incident. So that's safety. What about sustainability? Well, we've already spoken a little bit about the work we're doing. Big thing RightShip has introduced is the greenhouse gas emissions rating. So this is a A to G rating system, and this allows charterers to get a comparison between different vessels of the same size and type about their relative sort of environmental impact in terms of CO2. Initially, it was thought this wouldn't be something the industry would really take on, but we've been pleasantly surprised, and we're seeing, really impressive figures there. The ones that jump out to me is 1 in 5 vessels chartered now using the GHG rating, over 30,000 vessel movements a year. And we're actually now seeing as well charterers and financial institutions who are only using vessels which are GHG rated in the sort of top levels, the A's and B's and C's. We've spoke at the start of the conference about our carbon accounting and how we can assist with that. And we do have charterers who are using the same tool to account for all their carbon emissions across a year for their shipping activity, and then buying carbon offset credits as well to make their whole shipping operation carbon neutral. So finally, sort of touching on a bit of the subjects we'd already heard about, last and certainly not least, the seafarer welfare element of it. So there's been, good improvements in the industry, the amendments in the Maritime Labour Convention, we had the UK Modern Slavery Act coming in, but there's still a lot more work to do. But as with the previous topics, we've seen that the charterers are embracing this. Some of the big charterers are referenced up there, and there's many more, have started to use this in terms of their contract negotiations and who they're willing to do business with, and they have to be complying and meeting these additional standards. So really we're seeing the industry starting to become more proactive in this respect. In terms of abandonment, we've heard the terrible examples already there. Clearly a major issue. So within RightShip, we take the ILO and the IMO databases, and we put that straight into our key platform. And that then allows us to automatically downgrade the star rating to 1 star of any vessel or company that has been involved in an abandonment. And through this, we've managed to have over 150 vessels and 300 companies on a high-risk list. Finally, we've got the health and wellness. We've done a lot of work with the Sailor Society on this and other initiatives. And this is something we've introduced. It's a voluntary self-assessment for managers of vessels. And it's an opportunity for them to demonstrate where they go beyond compliance and where they're going that extra mile for their crew, and to be recognized for that. Focuses on the same areas of the MLC, so in terms of crew welfare, accommodation, access to shore leave. And we're seeing a good uptake with this, particularly in Western Australia, with the sort of charterers there sort of starting to take that on board and doing their own inspections of the vessels when they come into port outside of port state controls. And we're really pleased that in 2019, this will also be incorporated into our RightShip inspection. So any vessel being RightShip inspected will also have elements of this questionnaire fully looked at as part of that inspection. So hopefully a flying introduction there to what operating beyond compliance looks like, and got you thinking, hopefully, a little bit about what you're currently doing and what more you potentially could be doing in the key areas of safety, sustainability, and seafarer welfare. Thank you.